Well, hey, welcome to Quick Wins for ADHD Moms. My name's Jessica Lynn Lewis. Today we have Kailey Buller on our show. We're so excited to have her again. Thank you for being with us, Kailey. Before we have you share your quick win, tell us a little bit, remind us about who you are and what you do in normal life.
Yes, absolutely. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Dr. Kailey Buller. So I am a physician. I'm a family doctor, but I only do emergency medicine and labor and delivery. I'm also a mom of two, and I have ADHD, and I was diagnosed relatively late in life. So I have the experience of being a child with ADHD untreated and going through the diagnosis as a physician, actually. And being able to have patients who have ADHD back when I did have a family practice, I've really gained a lot of valuable insight, I think, into what ADHD looks like, what it is, and how
hmm
to manage it, which I think has really benefited me both as a physician and a mom. I think I'm a better physician because of it, and I think I'm a better mom
Yeah.
because of it. So,
I
yeah.
think because you're more aware of it and how it presents itself and how it's
Mhm.
so different in everybody, but I'm sure you can recognize, like looking back, it's like the hindsight's always 2020. When you look back, you're
Absolutely.
like, okay, I can see it.
hmm Yeah, it's so obvious in
Yeah.
retrospect, but it is easier to see in some patients as well. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of people, when they think about ADHD, they think about distractibility and attention, and it's so much more than that, right? And I'm
Oh
sure your
yeah. It's
listeners
like
know
an
that because we've.
abundance. We're saying it's an
hmm
abundance of attention and it's hard to focus
hmm
because we see everything.
Absolutely, yes. And then there's other tasks that go along with or are related to attention that don't even seem like attention on the outside, right? When you talk about those executive domains about flexibility or stress or time blindness, like a lot of that has some relation to attention, but it doesn't always come across as. And I think we've talked about it before. A lot of women are misdiagnosed as anxiety because it seems like we're stressed
Yes,
out when really we just have a hard
which we
time
are.
filtering all the information. Yeah.
Right. And
Yeah.
we're stressed out because of the executive dysfunction. Yeah. Yeah. So you have a wonderful quick win for today. Can you share that with us?
Yes. So the quick win for today is if you're anything like me and have trouble with stressing out when things don't go to plan, I think that's a big one, is having some built-in contingencies in your life. And they could be big or small, and you certainly don't have to have them for everything, but there are certain things that we know aren't going to go well, like getting your kids out the door in the morning.
Oh, you have problems with that?
Right. And
Yeah. No, we're
so
fine here.
no, absolutely. So we know that that's not always going to go to plan. And so having, a little bit of built-in extra time, right? That could be your contingency for that example. Um, and my favorite one is I know at some point this week, dinner's not going to happen the way that I thought it was going to. Like, I'm not going to have time to cook a meal. We're late. We don't have
Yeah.
time. So I always
And you
have,
don't know until you're like, oh crap. Like
right.
the oh crap moment that happens a lot in my life. I don't know about you guys, but
Yes, yeah, it does. No.
yeah.
And then you're rifling through the fridge and the freezer thinking, what am I going to feed my family tonight? So one of my contingencies is we just always have emergency meals. They're not really emergency meals, but emergency meals in the freezer. So, and we use them regularly, right?
Yes.
So,
My emergency meal I use every week.
yes, exactly. And I restock every week.
Yep.
But I never know what day I'm going to need it. And I just have it.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
And
right,
I think
because
that's,
there's so much ebbs and flows with our schedule, and we just need to be
Mhm.
flexible with having a really healthy meal. You know what? Chicken nuggets might have to be okay
It
for
might be a
tonight.
meal for today.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It's not forever. It's just the
Yeah.
once a week meals.
Yeah. And so there's so many ways to
Yeah.
do it. And that's why it makes it a little bit more difficult to explain because a contingency might just be packing extra snacks.
Mm.
But there's going to be a scenario. And actually, very recently, you just came home from Florida too, actually, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah. We
So
just
we
missed
sort of
each other
crossed
in
paths.
Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming home from Florida, there was a huge winter storm in Toronto where we were flying into, and our evening flight was canceled and rebooked for the morning, and then our morning flight was canceled for mechanical issues, and so we were on the phone for 3 hours from like 4:30 till 7:30 in the morning, and
Now, are you in the Orlando airport?
this
Or
was
were you?
Tampa.
So you were in Tampa, you flew into Tampa. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
And that's much smaller.
much smaller. Yeah, so
Not as much to do.
We were on, well, exactly. So we were still at home because they had canceled the flight at 4:30. We hadn't left for the airport yet. So we were on the phone with them. And then at 7 in the morning, they said, okay, there's a flight that can get you to Miami from a different airline at 8:30. And if you get to Miami, then we can get you to Toronto later. So we literally, like, it was 7 a.m. We're an hour from the airport and the flight left at 8:30. So we threw our luggage into my mother-in-law's closet. Like, we can't check a bag.
International flight.
Yes.
Let's just say that too, because
International
that's like, you're supposed to be there 2 hours earlier,
Mhm.
unless it's an international flight, and then it's like more.
Exactly. Yeah. So
Right?
we know
Yeah.
we could, like, we're not going to check a bag. So I got toiletries and one outfit. I was like, in case we don't make it home, this is my contingency plan. In case we don't make it home, here's one
nice.
outfit and toiletries. We throw it in a duffel bag. That's what we're taking. That's all we're taking. We threw the kids in the car and off we went. We got there 20 minutes before the plane left. It was crazy. Got through
That's
security.
real
I don't know how we
anxiety.
did it. Right. I
Yeah.
don't know how we did it. Got onto the flight. And then our connection, we were supposed to have an hour and a half to make it to our connecting flight. But there was another plane waiting at our gate when we landed, and we were stuck on the tarmac for an hour. So then we only had 30 minutes to get out of the plane, through security again.
2 small kids. Strollers?
Well, actually,
Or
so
they're
we're
older?
hoofing it. So my 6-year-old's piggybacking on me, and I'm
Right.
carrying 2 bags. I got a backpack on my front, and my husband's got our 3-year-old on his shoulders, and he's carrying bags, and we're running. And Miami Airport is huge. I didn't
Oh,
realize.
yeah.
It's like a mile to get around, like a full mile from where we were. So we cut through the parking lot. It's, we're sweating. It's
And
just,
it's hot.
it's so
You're
hot.
coming from Canada. It's like
Yeah.
winter
And we
storm.
just, like, again, just make it before they close the doors. So in all this time, we had no opportunity to get any food. So we had a 3 and a 6-year-old for 5 hours, 5.5 hours, no food. But I'm a pack snack. Like, I'm a packer of snacks.
You're a pack snacks.
I'm a
packer
snack
snacker.
packer, a packer snacker. So the night before we left, because I knew I wasn't going to want to pack snacks in the morning, the night before we left, thankfully, I packed goldfish, pretzels, cashews, pouches, whatever. And my backpack, my personal item, was all snacks.
I love that. I'm going to carry on a personal item of all snacks because
All
I have
snacks.
2 small kids.
And that's what I do. Like, on a long flight,
Yes.
snacks are sometimes the best way to keep them distracted and happy.
For sure.
And I always pack a variety of things because who knows what they're going to decide they like that day. So thank God I had
true.
this contingency plan. I wasn't expecting to not be able to get them any other food, but I had, like, they basically had goldfish and pretzels for breakfast and lunch.
And that works.
Right?
That's all you had.
But if I hadn't done that, I would have been so stressed out. Like, my kids would be hangry, and having to figure out, how am I going to feed my kids, and like, that breaks your heart a little bit. Like, they're starving, they're rushed, you're stressed. That would have been a completely different scenario. But in this scenario, all I had to do was focus on getting to the plane.
Right.
Which was
You have
nice.
a contingency plan because you thought ahead. You visualized, what is this going to look like if things don't go to plan, right?
Right.
And I feel like with an ADHD brain, I don't know about you, really good at visualizing things. Maybe everybody's different, but visualizing
Yes. Well,
what it
I
looks
think
like on
some
a
are
plane.
better at visualizing. My husband, not so
I
much.
think.
And I think he does have, he'll often joke about,
I
like,
guess
well, that
maybe
just sounds
that's a
normal.
different
And I'm
thing.
like, no, you have ADHD as well, but it's just a different
It's a
brand of
different,
ADHD.
yeah.
But even with, my son, for example, so he's also ADHD, and he was concerned too, like, what's going to happen, Mom, if we don't make our flight?
Well, yeah,
Right?
but you said this is what it looks like. You said this is what,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's not, and now
Yeah.
he's got
So
anxiety.
he's got
and-
anxiety because it's not going to plan. And that's a really hard thing for ADHD brains. And we do better when we already have an escape route, right? When we already have that alternate path. And we do, I think, a pretty good job with our kids of just sort of, as a general rule, like, there's not a problem that we won't be able to solve, right? So they know that.
Oh,
I think they're
yeah.
pretty confident in
I wanted
us
to point
for
that out. I
but-
wanted to pause right there because I know
Mhm.
we have talked before, and you're so good at phrasing things with your kids, phrasing
Thanks.
things and positioning things as, hey, yes, it's a problem, but we can figure this out, instead of like, oh my gosh, I don't know.
Yes.
Well,
it's
that's me sometimes. It's like, what are we going to do?
I
And they're looking
know.
at me like, I don't know.
Well, and that's one of the biggest things, I think, as a parent is being calm, right? Approaching things
Yeah.
from a place of calm, which is hard to do, and it takes practice, obviously, but that's the best way to help your kids, I think.
That's where acting
Um,
comes in.
Yes, yeah,
We
right?
act like everything is calm.
Yes. And I mean, I'm
Yeah.
very fortunate because I work in a high stress environment, so I really
Oh,
don't
gosh.
freak out very
Right,
often.
right. You're like, okay, we got this. You're
Yeah, like, this
well
is okay,
trained and
right?
not freak out
And
mode.
if something happens, we'll figure it out. But even for him, right, explaining, okay, if we don't make this flight, which I think we will, but if we don't make it, no problem. We'll go back to grandma's and we'll get another flight. And then when we are in Miami and we're running, and he goes, well, what happens if we miss this flight? And I'm like, you know what, buddy? If we miss this flight, we'll find something fun to do for the rest of the day and we'll catch a later flight. No problem. Right? Because he needed to know that there
What's
was.
a plan B? Yeah.
Mhm,
Yeah.
yeah.
A contingency. Come up with a contingency plan.
Mhm.
And it's hard because I think we know that, but to practice it is different. And I think it's
Yes.
something that it's like a muscle. You just practice and you get better at, okay, here's our contingency plan. Here's where we can be flexible.
Mhm. And not everything needs a plan B, but there are going to be moments in your life,
Right.
especially if you're the type of person who has a routine. And I don't, and I'm very envious of people who do. But if you know that every morning you're getting the kids up, you're getting them to school, and then you're going to work, and there's steps in that process that always take more time or they don't always go right, then you build in a little bit of extra time. So this is another thing I think we've talked about before is I have a school
Mhm.
day clock for my kids. And so there's,
Yes.
yeah, so I've got the clock and I painted the clock. And when it's pink, that's getting up and having breakfast. And then when it's yellow, we call it tactical pee. You do your tactical pee, you brush your teeth, and you get dressed. And then there's 10 minutes. There's a buffer in there. If everything's done, you can play or watch TV before it's time to go. And if they're not done, then we have an extra 10 minutes to get those things done. And then, of course, our getting out the door, which is purple, is 15 minutes long, right? That's when we go to get our shoes on. It doesn't take 15 minutes usually to put on shoes and get in the car, but some days
Sometimes it does take 15
it
minutes to
does.
find the shoes and then we try to put them
Yes.
on. Yes.
Or you get in the car and realize you've forgotten something. And so you have to run back inside and grab it. So building in that extra time is really helpful. And there's another quick win that hopefully we'll talk about later. But when you're trying to plan things out, instead of planning for time, plan for tasks, which I think can be helpful too. But we can talk
Yeah.
about that another time.
Well, yeah, we'll dive into that for sure. But I think even just getting our heads wrapped around that idea, oh, okay, what could that look like? Because a lot of it is just shifting our thinking. Like we live in a world, it's like 9 to 5. This is how we've always done it. Right? And we grew up with that. And now we're like, this doesn't work. I'm frustrated. I have stress. And if we just look at, well, why don't I do this different? Why don't I think about this different? Why don't I have a better attitude about this? Completely changes everything.
Absolutely. And being raised in a certain way, right? Or being raised by parents who don't understand ADHD,
Oh, yeah.
right? So
Or
you are
parents who
going to,
do have ADHD.
right? Yes. And maybe
That is
didn't have
why.
the best coping techniques, whatever the case may be. So there
Yeah.
might be things that we think we're supposed to do, but a lot of the things that we think we're supposed to do, we're supposed to fold the laundry in a certain way. Like laundry's not done until it's been through the wash and then the dryer and then folded. But
I'm failing
theoretically,
at that.
right, but
If that's
that's just a construct that we've made up, right?
right.
Technically, if the laundry is dry and clean, it's done. Like technically it's done. You don't have to fold it. You could live out of a laundry hamper,
Sure. Yeah.
right?
We do a lot,
Yeah,
actually.
absolutely. So there's a
I
lot of things
throw it
that we
out on the
think.
bed. Yeah, I throw it on
Yes,
the bed, get your stuff, and then I'm like, I'm gonna fold this later because I have to because it's all laid out on the bed. And
right.
then I
It
come
just
back
goes
later
back
and I'm just like,
into
push
the
it
laundry
all
basket.
back into the laundry
Right.
basket for
Yeah.
bed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's my
And that
system.
might be a system that works for you and there's nothing wrong with that. So just because society tells us that we're supposed to have our laundry put away nicely in the closet doesn't mean that you actually have to have your laundry put away nicely in the closet.
Right. Right.
So,
We can still have a wonderful day
yeah,
without our folded laundry. Yeah.
absolutely. So
Yeah,
sometimes
that's
it is
great.
really just a bit of a mindset shift, but
Yeah,
I do
huge.
think that the big ones are having emergency food in the freezer. I think that's
Yeah,
for
emergency
those
food in the
easy.
freezer. All right, well, hey, let's dive into that. We have a couple minutes left.
Mhm.
Let's dive into some ideas to get people
Yeah.
start thinking about, okay, what could I have in my freezer?
Oh,
We
absolutely.
always
So
have a frozen pizzas. We go
frozen
to
pizzas are
Sam's Clubs where they have like
great.
three
Mhm.
three pizzas and like one it's
Yeah.
$12 or whatever.
Frozen pizzas are great. Chicken nuggets obviously are great.
Chicken nuggets.
We often will freeze leftovers so that we can
Oh
just
yeah.
pull it out, whenever we need it. The problem with that, of course, is it takes a little bit of foresight to know that it needs
To
defrosting
pull
time.
it out and defrost it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But those are sort of our big ones. Frozen ribs is actually because they only take like the pre-cooked ribs frozen, like
Oh,
they only
yeah.
take like 10 minutes on the barbecue. They're actually a really quick meal, surprisingly. So we
Okay.
do that a lot. Yeah.
I love the chicken breast, like little pieces. You can get breaded chicken, but if you're trying to live a healthier life, they have breaded chicken. Just frozen chicken breast, frozen chicken strips,
Yeah. Like the frozen fish that, yeah, again, you
frozen
throw in the oven
fish.
for 15 minutes or whatever and they're done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do a lot of canned chicken that you like. It's kind of like tuna, but it's like canned
Okay.
chicken. And then I'll throw it in like a can of, they have like a korma sauce or something I get at Aldi. And it's in a thing of peas. And it takes maybe 5 minutes.
Oh, that sounds
And
amazing.
it's so yummy. And then just over rice.
Yeah.
You can get little packets of rice you put in the microwave for like
For like
90
a minute.
seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We actually use those a lot more than I had hoped. I think these are expensive, but at the same time, they're eating better food than
Right.
stopping by
Super
McDonald's or
convenient.
something.
Well, and
Yeah.
what's interesting too is we often just have like those little mini nan breads as well.
Oh, I
So if
love
we
those.
need to round out a meal, like okay, all we have is chicken nuggets. Well, I guess not chicken nuggets, but like all we have is this frozen leftover chili, and a
Oh,
couple
yeah.
nan breads. Great, good.
Perfect. It does.
That's
I
the
like
meal.
how you rounded it out. Yeah. Instead of
Hmm.
just like, oh, we're just having a bowl of chili, like that's
Yeah, some
it. It's
soup.
like, oh no.
Yes. Yeah.
No, we're adding naan bread.
Yeah. Makes it totally different.
Yeah. Or having naan bread and hummus, you know?
Yeah.
I love keeping hummus in the fridge,
Mhm.
and then just like carrot sticks
Yes.
and
We do
something
the same thing
quick
with,
and
yeah,
easy.
hummus and tzatziki. We always have.
Oh, I love tzatziki too. Yeah.
Hmm. Because again, it's super quick and easy. And then
Yeah.
honestly, I feel like charcuterie boards are really underrated.
Totally underrated. I love,
Totally.
and it's a
Right?
full meal.
It's full. You grab some fruit, some crackers, some cheese, boom, fancy meal, and it's done in
It's so fun. And we
no
we
time at
have this
all.
little kitchen island. We all stand around it and we just eat and like that's dinner and it's
Yes,
so fun.
it's
Of
perfect.
course they eat. It's our first dinner. I have two boys and so there's like
Mm.
second dinner and then third dinner and then snack.
Right. Well, then you definitely need some easy meal ideas if
So,
you're going to
yeah.
be
I
doing
feel like
dinner
we're
3 times.
constantly eating, but yeah.
You probably are.
So,
We actually, when we bought our place where we're living now, I specifically was like, we need room for a full upright freezer and a full upright fridge because our kids are young. They will be growing. They're going to be eating all the time. So I need lots of space.
this is
Yeah.
true. Yes, we have a fridge in the basement, so we keep all the extra stuff down there. Although the one thing though about that is that I forget what we have down in the
Yes.
basement. So I have whiteboards up in my cupboard. Like I open the cupboard and I have a whiteboard in the cupboard and I write down, here's what's in the basement fridge.
I love that. We do something very similar, and we have whiteboards in our pantry for we've run out of this, so it goes on the grocery list,
Yeah.
or this is what we have. So, like our meal planning, I'll write down what's available in the freezer for that week in our meal plan.
Yes,
So,
that's great. The whiteboard, I'm finding many uses for whiteboards. And I like to keep things clean and minimal. So I like that the whiteboard is on the inside of the cabinet
yeah,
instead of like sticking on the fridge or something. So,
yeah, that's very
because then the
smart.
kids erase stuff and draw pictures. I'm
Yes,
like,
they do.
that's
Right.
cute, but
You're like,
where'd my
"Oh,
stuff
I
go?
don't remember. I specifically downloaded it onto the whiteboard so I didn't have to keep it in my brain."
Right.
Yeah,
So whiteboard in the back of the cupboard just kind of hides it. So yeah.
that's smart.
So fun talking to you. It's always fun. I love your ideas. Can you just recap the quick win today just because I need another reminder.
Absolutely. So the quick win really is about flexibility and not so much rigid thinking, but what you do when things don't go to plan, because that happens. And a lot of the time in ADHD brains, the ability to figure out all the downstream effects of this didn't happen the way I wanted it to it's a lot. It's overwhelming and it can be quite stressful. So if you already have an escape hatch, if you already have an alternate path to take, it just becomes so easy. So the quick win is just to build in some contingency plans into not everything, but into some of those more commonly, this is going to not go well today
Morning
type events.
routines, finding
Exactly.
shoes, or
Mhm.
plane rides,
Yeah. Yes. Running
any
late
kind of
to
travel.
events or exactly. Yeah. So whether that be adding a little extra time every morning just as a default, or always having snacks in the car, or
Always having snacks. Yeah,
right. So it can
that's a
look
good
different
one.
for everyone, but yeah.
Yeah, find out what works for you. But I love hearing what other people do because I'm like, ooh, I never thought about that. That's a good
Mm,
idea.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, thank you, Kailey. I appreciate it. And we'll have you on again soon, very soon.
Yes. Sounds great. I look forward to it.